Good night. Good after. Well, good night, y'all. Yeah, good evening, I should say. It's 11:21, right? 11:21 p.m. Central Time. So let me do something. See, this is I'm glad people are now trying to question this phenomenon, right? I'm glad people are now seeing the phenomenon on what I'm seeing. But and shout out to Cola and Cola one Cola Reef 14. I hope you don't mind me using your community post because that is a great topic. I was going to do a pre-record video on this. So, but anyway, I decided no, I may not have time tomorrow to do a pre-record video and do all the edits and everything else. So let me just put it short and clear. And I did say something in the comment section. And let me read what I said in the comment section, right? No, let me read what you said, right? Because 49 minutes ago you said that, all right, I come to a conclusion. I have been paying attention to many men on this app. After doing some Daryl research and discussing with my doctor friends, we've concluded that it might be uh, Andropause. There must be a reason behind the unusual behavior. Um, this is actually normal at a certain age, but I don't think many are aware. Definitely something is worth reading about. Heal and chill. And then I comment below about 20 minutes ago. I said I cannot disagree, but I think the issue is that men of lower class are reacting to late stage capitalism. Did I made my own community post about it, and I think I should expand upon it, right? I think I should expand on it. Now, uh Andropause, I hope I pronounced the name right. It's male menopause. And male menopause is where men after the age of 35, their sperm count, their testosterone, their things that makes the testosterone is decreasing. A lot of men experience midlife crisis. Uh, once they reach 45, 40, 45, they well, that's why you have a bunch of Reg the bad guys in the world. That's why you see Reg the bad guy and and Macbone and people like that. Those are archetypes of people having a midlife crisis and they going online. You know what? I'm gonna talk about that later. I'm talking about that later. Yeah, yeah. I'm naming names. I'm a roast on this. Okay. The thing is, right? What we are experiencing, and I've been noticing this since 2015, right? I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I know there's something wrong with the heterosexual male for the past uh couple decades. And what you're having is you know, as somebody who is a millennial, right? And the millennial is somebody who was born after 1979. Anybody born from 1980 to 1996 or 95 is determined to be a millennial. So, as a millennial male, uh, we experience two wars, possibly three wars, right? Where there was no um, when there was no inclusive, when there was no straight victory, whether that's Afghanistan, whether that's Iraq, uh, or these wars we have in Africa and so forth. And because as and when I'm talking about millennial men, I'm not just talking about black men. I'm not talking about just American men. I'm talking about men of the Western world, right? We fought these wars, and then these wars became inconclusive. There was no closure to these conflicts. We just left after all of the damage has been done, and then these guys got married or have children, and their experience, and their life on the home front I know what I'm saying. It has layers to this, by the way. It has layers to all of this. There's so much layers to all of this. What I'm saying. So we grew up with a sense of doing the job but never finishing. And because we didn't finish the job, or partially because of finish the job, we, some of us who return overseas, we're given these platitudes, but then we're living under bridges, we're living in homeless shelters, and now we're seeing our sons and daughters being forced to who jeopardize to serve in the Middle East or in in Eastern Europe with the war in Ukraine, and then a lot of us cannot find adequate housing, affordable housing, and our taxes and wages are too low to meet the demands of the prices of goods, and that's why you see a lot of men, millennial men and Zoomer boys, gravitating to the lowest common denominator, the dregs of society. And yes, I mentioned, white guys, white men will gravitate towards the fresher fits of the world. Black men will gravitate towards the Kevin Samuels, failures like Kevin Samuels, or losers like your Andrew Tates of the world. Your fresher fits, your Myrons and so forth. And then like we find our manhood between the lips of just pearly things, and try to find comfort in mammies, online, like real fam sapiens, whose only focus is to gain money from these broke old men who over the age of 35, who is broke, who don't have successful lives, and then we're giving, and then they're giving young men, preaching to young men to give them money for, so they can have access to women, while making these same young men who are millennials, younger millennials and older Zoomers, taking their resources for their lost time. And that's why I said, I know there's so many layers to this, and I wish I had more time to talk about this, even though this is a Sunday night. I know people got to go work in the morning. So let me be frank about this. Our society, Western society, right? Because there are so many disenfranchised and disaffected young men, and these older loser men in these podcast channels, this is how revolutions get started. And I won't say this is not Imperialism. This is late stage imperialism. This is late stage capitalism. This is a late stage patriarchy. Patriarchy no longer serve its purpose. What's going on, Pierre? What's going on with you? I'm not gonna be here very long, Pierre. But yeah, let me go ahead and say this. This is late stage, uh, late stage patriarchy, right? And all these guys who are losers in life, these 35+ year olds, these okay, but I'm just talking about because like you said Cola, you said though you were talking about how men uh on this app right here. You said you been paying attention to the men on this app, and I'm just I don't disagree with you. It's just that I'm just adding on to what you're saying. So for me, Cola, I'm looking at this from a cultural and political point. Yeah, I know. I know what that is. Yes, a lot of us lose sperm count. Hell, a lot of us shooting blanks. A lot of us can't bust a nut right. You know, you know, shit. As somebody over age 40, yeah. Like we can't get it up like we used to. Like we don't got it like that we was when we was 19 years old. You get up in the morning, you like, damn, yeah, the symptoms are at a high time. Yeah, yeah, Cola. Well, I appreciate though. I hope though you're not mad. You're not mad at me for using your post because I have to expand on it, right? I expand on what I see because what I see, Cola, is our society is becoming more dangerous by the year, and it's because lower class men are gravitating towards the demagogues, the dregs of society, and then these dregs of society and their uh primal. I'm gonna use the word primal. Uh, they want the world to go back to a primal way of life, knowing the fact that it's antiquated, is outdated, and Donald Trump and Nigel Farage, yes, Donald Trump and Nigel Farage are there, I'm gonna let me also say uh Elon Musk. All three of these white men, I'm say this again, these are Caucasian men, are symbols for a bygone era, and these lower class men of lower economic level, and young men at that too. Uh, they see these men as the gateway to a better life, and these men only want is power for themselves and to promote the worst of men. You know, uh, well, yeah, and that's what. Listen. You know, um, and that's what you're seeing, Cola. That's what you're seeing. I'm seeing it. 'Cause I'm looking at this. I know we are in black YouTube, but I've been outside of black YouTube, and I'm seeing it's the same. It's the same narrative. You know, it's the same. Well, I wouldn't say narrative. I see the same trajectory. Now it's today it's black women are at fault. Black women are at fault for what's going on in Ukraine. Black women are at fault what's going on in the Middle East. And it's a narrative that's being preached for the past couple of years. And then I look at these YouTube faces. You know, I saw Tommy Sotomayor on Fox News. I saw Anton Daniels on Dr. Phil. How is Anton Daniels, a person that me and you have talked before, had conversations with, is on not only on Dr. Phil, he's on Fox News. Then though you see Phil the Advice show on these African news channels. Then though you see when Kevin Samuels was still here. Kevin Samuels was on Entertainment Tonight. And we used to have conversations with Kevin. Then I see Nigel Farage. Then I see Jordan Peterson. We all had conversations with Jordan Peterson and Sargabakad. And Tommy Robinson. The common denominator is they're either old men who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s who never had a successful life, or the younger guys who just coming up and they don't have the tools necessary to be successful. They just coming up in the world. I see a pattern. It's lower class economic men of a certain economic class, and there's demagogues on top who is putting seeds of discontent and seeds of destruction, self-destruction, and destruction of others out there. That's why London, England, had all these riots. That's why you have all these school shootings over here. It's the same common denominator. And that's why I said the manosphere has to be eradicated. Because I'm a student of history, right? The French Revolution is a prime example. I'm gonna use two. No, you know what? I'm gonna use 3 historical occurrences. I'm gonna use 3 historical occurrences of this, right? I'm gonna use the French the French Revolution, the European revolutions of 1848, and the Spanish Civil War. All of these have one thing in common: disaffected men. And now in the Western world, we have the same thing. A lot of disinfected, young, heterosexual men being used as cannon fodder for Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Nigel Farage. Because now it's the immigrants who are at fault. It's always the deem is the same. It's always the immigrants. Then it's the women. Then it's the immigrants again. Then it's the women. Then it's the immigrants. Then it's then one day it's going to be those of the Jewish faith. Then the next day is going to be those of the Islamic faith. And then you see this slow churning towards fascism. That's what I see. You know, that's what I see. Oh, pure butterfly ask, um, how are black women are to blame for Ukraine in the Middle East? Oh, okay, good. I'm glad that you asked that because I'm gonna tell you why. I don't know if you ever go on some of these channels. You see channels where like they see the White House press secretary, who is a Haitian black woman. You see a Haitian black woman defending her boss, her employer, who is President Biden. President Biden sent airplanes and jets and everything else to Ukraine and to Israel. So men, white and black, will put a black woman's face on why you are broke. They'll put a black woman's face, an image of a black woman, as an image of why there's mass immigration in Chicago, or why there's mass immigration, why the Muslims are taking over the UK. I'm sitting back and I'm watching all these videos. And then I keep seeing these names keep popping up. Sargon Akkad, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Nigel Farage. And they're all connected to each other. And Tommy Robinson. I got to add Tommy Robinson to it. Oh, over there in Liverpool, England. I see it. That's why I said, you know, um, and social media is the first battleground in this this conflict. That's why a lot of these guys on YouTube, they think they are they're doing something, right? They think, yeah, man, we were black men. I'm talking about the black men now on this one. Black men, man, we need our voice. Black men have always had their voice. It's one of the dumbest comments ever made. We need to put our voice out there. Well, okay, you got hip hop. Yeah, man, we need our voice out there because Oprah and Ricky Lake and that. Okay, well, if y'all going to say, and it's one of these asinine statements, right? It's one of these asinine statements using celebrities saying that men of the everyday man voice is being stifled by these women in the media, but then they try to forget or ignore that NWA, the Ghetto Boys, Bad Boy Record, Death Row Records, No Limit didn't give black men a voice. And then they forgot about the black exploitation of the late 60s, 70s, and early 80s. Now I watched a movie called Sweetback, The Legend of Sweetback. That movie should be Marvin Van Peebles should be in prison behind that movie. I was going to do a review on that movie. I couldn't even watch that movie because of the first five, because of the opening credits showed Marvel Van Peebles and his son, Marvel Van Peebles, because Marvel Van Peebles played a little kid, having sex with a grown woman. And Marvel Van Peebles was no more than 12 years old, having sex with a grown woman. But yet we post the, you know what? It's so many layers to this. I can't really. I know about 30 minutes into this, but there's so many layers to all of these problems, to this issue, that we said, oh, we don't have no voice out there, when we the first thing we do is corrupt the voice. The women are only reacting to what the men say, and the men do. You know, excuse me, and they can't get the point. You know, black men have always had a voice. Anybody, black men have a voice ever since you know, ever since the first black governor, the first black senator after the Civil War, immediately after the Civil War. And nothing to take away from Frederick Douglass and Captain Delaney, Martin Delaney. You know, black men have always had a voice. Black men have been going to the White House even before the Civil War. Black men have been going into the White House advocating for abolition. So I don't want to hear none of these Negroes like A.J. Seen Red, these management nuts talking about, well, we didn't have no voice. See, that's why I said though we need to revamp the education system, because we allow these idiots and fools to tell others you never had a voice, and giving it as excuse to shame, blame, and explain. That's why I have the avatar. That's why I have this thing up. Everybody wants to have the excuse. Everybody want to have that excuse to shame, blame, and explain. See, people who don't know their history about this country, about our society, about how the system is created, and who is benefit off of said society, all these individuals who are uneducated, unwashed, have no culture, they want to shame women, blame women, and then explain why they themselves are in a bottom rung of society. They want to shame, blame, and explain. And that's what it is, you know? And that's what I'm saying. They're blaming the wrong people. And yes, let me drag AJ Seen Red, because I hate this motherfucker. So let me just drag him. Let me just drag AJ Seen Red, right? You got a guy who joined the United States Navy, got out of said Navy, selling drugs in said community because he got jealous of seeing these drug dealers having cars and vehicles and houses bigger than him. Then he decided to go back to Chicago, sell the drugs, but then turn right back around and blame black women for what's going on in Chicago. Got the nerve to still blame black, and his own community tab, his recent community tab, he's still blaming black women for immigrants. But Big J's the bad guy, you know what I'm saying? But Big J Triple X is the bad guy. People like him, Reg, and the Manosphere, these red pill groups, they're just foot soldiers for the alt-right, the fascists, whether that's in London or in New York. You know, Elon Musk, your Sergei Ricard, your Donald Trump, your Donald Trump and Elon Musk are just tools, right? You know, Nigel Farage of the world. You know, Kevin Samuels, Tommy, Jordan Peterson, all these characters will come online and stoke the fears among young men, telling them about their relationships. And then you got these pot-bellied, uneducated clowns online who drink, you get donations for beer, is helping out the message. And that's what's going on. So in order to eradicate the red pill, you have to create a better platform. And when I say a platform, I'm talking about a platform of policies. You have to create policies to address these ailments, these fissures in society, education, housing, things like that needs to be addressed. And that's all I'm going to say on that, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Cola and Pure. Thank y'all for watching. I know there was like 9-10 people watching. I really don't care. I just want to get out my opinions out before I go headed off to bed. Excuse me, before I head off to bed and everything. So yeah, y'all be easy, and I'll see y'all next time. I'm out.